Hello and welcome to Town Hall episode 19. Zoya here, and regular cast is back again. No guest this week. We got a decent amount to talk about, not the news-wise, like where we could dive deep into it. Not the biggest week, but we did have a few. This was decent. All we got was a Zagara announcement and some
That's pretty big.
That's more than we've had in like a month, bro.
That's pretty big. I think it's pretty
about
big.
like something we can dive deep into, man. Like
I'll dive
Zagara's
deep
announced.
into
Cool. Well, let's get the introductions going. To the right of me, normally below me, but to the right of me, it is Mr. Sham 2, man. How was your weekend? How have you been?
Weekend was trying to get all of the streams on my monitors at once for MLG Anaheim. Typically, I was going with a StarCraft on main screen, Smash on side screen, open laptop playing Hearthstone because I've been trying to get good at Hearthstone. I'm really bad at it.
Oh, I can't wait to watch
But
that.
the weekend was absolutely amazing.
First weekend in a while that I've actually sat there and watched a tournament like all weekend. I haven't done that since like 2012.
Wow.
But Anaheim was good.
Yeah.
Corey, did you watch Anaheim at all?
I did. I watched a lot of it. One would say almost too much because you get nothing done at all weekend. But that's a good thing, I guess, because it was pretty entertaining. I haven't watched a Smash tournament in a long time. Maybe since 2012. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah. No, but it was good. It was a lot of fun. Production was good. Everything ran pretty smooth. I was impressed. So kudos, Jake. Kudos.
Thank
Do anything else this weekend besides Smash?
Played Street Fighter, of course.
Of course, that's all you do.
Of course. Yeah. Yep.
And well, Jake, you kind of did something this weekend that was, I guess, a pretty big deal for you.
Yeah, whatever.
Go
Nobody
ahead
really
and
cares.
talk
Go
about
on. Let's go on to like the actual show.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
fun.
man.
It was a humbling experience. I mean, I don't know if you guys follow me on Twitter. I know you guys probably saw my tweets, but like, getting out of high school, that was like kind of my dream to be part of MLG and Smash and to be the guy that brings Smash back to MLG and then produces the whole thing was a cool experience for sure. I learned a lot doing it. It was my first time ever. I was kind of just like thrown into the pit. It's just like, do this. It's like you've wanted it, here, do it. And from Friday to Sunday, there was massive improvements, I would say. I mean, we had some issues with our open bracket. That was our big criticism, and we got a lot of complaints about downtime sitting on the spinning logo. But I'll tell you right now, like I know this isn't a Smash show, I'll make it short, but like just getting Smashers on the stage in a timely manner after each game, like was a headache and a half. We had like 3 guys running around looking for them constantly, and it was still difficult. So. But I think it went well. We got really good feedback. All the pro players loved our format. They loved our pool play thing, best of 5 and stuff. So, and I got to see a ton of Blizzard people there. Like we played. I think the 4 of us teamed with Sion a while ago. Remember we were doing like it was the 4 of us and Sion.
Sion's a cool guy.
And Sion, I was at the bar with Sion on Sunday night, and it's just a super cool dude. I mean, I got to see Tim. I got to see Jacqueline. I got to see Joshy, Katie. I saw a lot of people there. So it was a cool weekend. I got to see a lot of Blizzard people. I mean, Blizzard was there in full force doing stuff for WCS. They would to see Smash and StarCraft and the actual like crossover between Smash and StarCraft. So many pro players from Smash and StarCraft were just like hanging out, buddy, like just chatting away, and just to see the synergy with those communities was really great because you don't get that with Call of Duty. Like you don't get any of that with Call of Duty. So
Yeah.
it was a good weekend for sure. How was your weekend, Zoya?
It was good, man. Watched Smash, a lot of Smash, and played a bit of Heroes too. But I know I enjoyed the hell out of Anaheim. It was a great event, and you did great, man.
Thank you.
Most of the problems
Hats
day
off
one
to you.
weren't your problem because events, when something can go wrong, it does. That's just the way. That's the way esports has been designed
It's
from day one.
the day one rule of esports is just forget day one. Day 2 is you can kind of take a little bit, but it's always the last day that the esport event really matters.
Tamzim just said something in chat, and this kind of like was crazy for me as like a personal thing too. I made a Reddit post on Smash, just kind of saying like what happened Friday, because I've always been a guy that's all about transparency. I always say what's up, and that's just my policy with MLG. I told them, I'm like, look, I want to be transparent with these guys. I want to tell them what's going on, and they gave me permission to do so. And that he said it was esports news. It was everywhere. It was just crazy. Like literally, somebody from Blizzard didn't actually know me from Town Hall. They were like, "Oh, you're the guy that made that Reddit post." I was like, "Wait, what?" What? Like, so that was kind of cool too. That was a unique experience for me. So yeah, it was a cool weekend. But like, you know, that's the Anaheim Convention Center. So, like, I got there, and my brain's kind of like, BlizzCon, let's go, let's go, let's go. But it wasn't BlizzCon at all. It was very different. But I can't wait for BlizzCon, because I booked my hotel. I don't have my ticket yet, but we'll get them. We'll get them.
Well, right on. Let's just dive into the show then, guys. We can talk more about Anaheim at the end of the event, because we did kind of skip, or the end of the show. We did kind of skip the pre-show, but let's get started. Let's talk about the experience changes. If you guys are interested in asking any of us questions for someone specific or just the show in general, go ahead to the Reddit thread, drop them there. We will, if we have time at the end of the show, we'll go through as many as we can. Something with boats as well, if you want to do something with boats in the upward direction. I think that's a thing.
Yeah, I like boats.
Yeah, and I like them when they're going
boats
up.
are great. Yeah, especially when they're upward. When they're the other way, then you have some problems.
The downward velocity.
I saw the Smash Bros. I saw that.
You know I'm used to typing it.
I'm sorry. Anyway, yeah, we the Zagara looks amazing. And
Hey, we're talking experience first.
Yeah,
sorry,
what happened?
I just opened up the Zagara page.
The Underdog bonus work is what it's called. Basically, they're making it to where the static experience gain and health regen, I think that's basically what they said, is going away when you're really behind. But what they're doing is it's more of like kind of a bounty system in the sense that when you're getting crushed, when you kill the other team, you get rewarded more. So it's like, hey, like, so securing that extra kill on the Arthas that's 3 levels ahead will get you more experience than if you were on even levels, so, giving you a better, you know.
This is, this is really good. This is like, because it's going to be hard to get those kills. Like, getting those kills, and you should be rewarded for it. So rather than just having that static XP, like, it's still going to have the anti-steamrolling thing, but it's going to, you know, it's something that you have to get rewarded for, not something that you just inherently get. Like, the whole Mario Kart aspect of it, it's like, oh, you get blue shells because you're behind. Like, no, this you actually have to work for it, because getting a kill on someone 3 levels higher is not going to be easy. They have to misplay for that. So if you're ahead and you just stick together, you're probably going to stay ahead. And they're going to have to work to push people out of position to secure those kills and make strategic decisions for it. So I'm actually, I read this and I was just like, Blizz, thank you. Zagara for my birthday and this? Yeah, it was my birthday yesterday too. Sing happy birthday for me, please.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Don't actually sing
happy birthday to Jake.
Please. But Zagara was a great birthday present, even though we don't have her yet. Soon. But, TM.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited for these XP changes, just because, exactly as Jake said, I was so upset to see like games where, yeah, I'm rolling as a pre-made 5 that's going to stomp on, you know, a pub team, but there shouldn't be the chance for that pub team to really be able to come back. And if you're doing pre-made 5 versus pre-made 5, then it's 10 times more aggravating if you're doing really well on that scrim, and all of a sudden they're just gonna, you know, be able to stay within 2 levels of you the entire game.
Yeah. I mean, I think
I really like. Go ahead.
No, you.
I really like. It's something that's implemented in League. When you're ahead, you get less experience for when you kill people. Like when you're ahead in League of Legends, when you kill someone that's like really behind, you get like a skosh of the experience you would normally be getting, which I think is a cool aspect to the thing as well. Like, it's just overall like a well-designed system that we've seen in other MOBAs, and I mean, it makes sense. It's perfect. I have no problems with it.
You know, I'm glad though you bring up it's something that we see in other MOBAs. I'm glad that they're trying stuff that's not in other MOBAs, and they're trying out these types of things. Obviously, it didn't work out so well, and I'm really glad to see that it didn't work out so well. Somebody like Squishy brought attention to it, and they were able to change it. And they said, "All right, the community really didn't like this. We need to adjust this and make it something that's a little bit easier for everybody to digest." And it also strengthens the part that they're not trying to make this an incredibly casual game. They're trying to make this a little bit competitive, because leaving that in there makes it an incredibly casual game, and there's going to be like probably no chance of it going competitive. With this change, this is actually a competitive change. This isn't making it any less casual. Actually, it makes it a little less casual. But this makes it's a little bit more of a competitive change.
I don't think it makes it any less casual. Honestly.
Oh, definitely.
I mean,
it gets
from the direction they're going is less casual.
But
yeah, it's a
the
little
game
less
is already like significantly more casual than any other MOBA on the market. Like, I don't think
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. This game is very.
I mean, what do you
strategically
define
organized
as casual? Because in my opinion, casual is something that is accessible and easy to get into. Now, as long as you can get in,
now, this is definitely not that. Could you imagine joining? We were crushing people. Me, ZPS, Idra, and a few other people who have been playing the game since day one. We're crushing people today who just got in the game.
Right, but
today,
currently,
that's not easy to get into.
Well, I mean, that's fair to say, but at the same time, I mean, they're addressing that over time. They need there's more players in the game. That's a matchmaking issue, right? They need a larger player pool to fix that. That'll fix itself over time once the player pool isn't, how small it is, because the number of times I've recognized two or three people on the other team is actually absurd. Like, I don't know if that's MMR related, but obviously we all have relatively high MMR. So if you guys are hitting brand new players, that's again inherently just a matchmaking issue. But the fact that they're changing the XP doesn't make the game like, I don't think it'll affect casual players that much, because they're gonna be playing against people that are bad. In the long run, they're going to be playing against other people that are at their skill level, and it's always going to be a learning experience. And half the problem with making a game casual or not is how accessible is the game. They don't have to learn how to last hit. They don't have to learn like which items they need to buy. They don't have to go through this shop that has 200 different options and figure out what the correct timing is to buy each thing. They don't have to go read these like elaborate guides. They can just click it up, look up a simple build where their talents are. They don't have to like go find a secret shop or any of that shit. So,
well, there's a difference between.
All right.
There's a difference between being casual and being less casual than another game. No one's going to argue that League of Legends or Dota
I'm not saying saying it's casual, but I'm saying
let's go back to the heart of what we just said, was that this change makes the game a little less casual, which is true, because if you have this passive experience where everybody's going to stay within 3 to 2 levels of each other, then the casual people, the ones who don't really care that much, etc., they're going to easily always have this time where they can come back. This type of change, however, makes it a little bit more competitive, because now you actually have to do something right and actually find and get that strategic play or whatever that gets you that bounty to throw you back into the game. This doesn't make it a non-casual game. I'm just saying that this change makes it less casual.
And it's also a change that is mainly directed at the competitive audience.
Oh, absolutely.
This benefits us, like the 1% more, which
1%.
We are
should probably not go by that moniker. We should not go by that.
We are the people in the alpha who have over 1,000 games played. I guarantee you that's like the 1% of the people.
I don't have a top hat and a monocle to go with this 1%. Thing, but
it's
true. No, it's completely true.
It definitely it's a thumbs up to competitive gamers, which is a great thing. And Blizzard has always supported that. They're supporting it with Hearthstone and obviously StarCraft, even World of Warcraft. They support it. So I'm glad to see it happening.
Hey guys, I don't like it.
You're weird.
I don't like it. I have problems with it.
Kubi's cam is frozen.
Kubi's cam is frozen.
Oh, really? Can you guys?
Kev's either not moving or he's frozen too.
Oh, what?
Oh, Kev's frozen too.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the right side. Oh!
Wait.
They're both frozen. Look at Kevin's goofy grin.
What is going on with XSplit tonight? Oh, now Jared's frozen.
Oh, what have you done? What have you done?
All right, guys, come on. Discussion.
Yes. Okay. All right. Here's why I don't like it. And it's good. It's like sort of a step in the right direction, but the problem is, you fall behind in levels, right? And so your team says, well, what's really the only way we can come back? Well, we got to stack up as 5, and we got to roam the map and hope we can get some ganks. That's pretty transparent as to what their strategy is going to be. They're
I don't
when
think
you're
that's true.
behind by more than 3 levels, it's going to be at the point where you're roaming for objectives, and you're going to be team fighting all the time anyway. So, like,
Not
it's not like at
necessarily.
level 2, like you're behind, so we need everyone roaming now.
I think it comes down to
Oh.
map awareness and making plays, not just roaming as 5. I think it's going to come down to having... I think that's going to make characters like Illidan more valuable and more viable because they can do solo ganks. And if they know that somebody's in their jungle and they have good map awareness and they can find somebody in the jungle and get a gank, it's going to award them that much more. Now, at the same time, the other team could just roam as 5 together and just be like, well, we're ahead. Let's just push it once. Then it's like, all right, well, we can take advantage by taking, 2 merc camps or something and then never initiate them and just keep, like, split pushing. Like, by being separated and just playing safe. I don't know. I think it adds a lot of strategic depth to the game. It really comes down to matchups and like which characters you have on your team and what you can pull off. I don't think it's going to just translate into, okay, we have to roam and try to gank, like, as a team. I really don't think. Because then you're going to fall more behind. If you're not soaking XP, like, it's going to be an inherent problem that roaming together is not going to benefit you enough. I don't think that one kill is going to get you so much XP.
No, maybe not. But here's the thing. The other team is going to say, okay, we're ahead. Let's get more ahead, as they always say. So they're just going to stay in their respective lanes and play cautiously, take what objectives they can, right? But they're basically going to try to not die and play patiently in their lanes. So the best thing that you can really do, if you're going to try to match them and do that same thing and just stay in lanes, you're not going to get any kills because you're 3 levels behind.
Right.
So what do you have to do? You have to try to roam and get ganks to try to capitalize on the one thing they're giving you, which is hero kill experience bonus.
This only seems to be, it's only going to be super beneficial, not even like super beneficial, when you're like 3 levels behind, and at that point in the game you're going to be at the point where everyone has heroics. Like, you're never 3 levels ahead at like level 9. That just doesn't happen.
No,
and
no,
game,
obviously not.
Always,
Yeah.
Late game everyone's already like, no one at the team mark is like, unless it's like Dragonshire and it's the most boring comps versus comps ever. No one's ever like, let's stay in each lane and soak that experience. It becomes pushing lanes. Like, you're going to push bottom now. You're going to go for the objective as a team. Like, at that point in the game, no one's, when you can have the potential to be 3 levels ahead or behind, no one is sitting in lanes anymore. Like, you might have like Hammer sitting bottom and pushing, but you're not going to be split in all 3 lanes ever at that point.
It becomes a very interesting point because at the time that you're going to be getting far ahead of your opponents is when you're going to have to be playing more risky and pushing into their territory in order to do damage to their objectives. Unless it's like Blackheart's Bay, which I think is like the only one. And to do that, you then enter their field. So they will be below in levels, but in order to get objectives, they have to go into places where there's towers and forts, and creep waves are in their favor. So, and not only that, but if you want to also push that advantage and get their jungle creeps, you have to be within their area, So I think it then makes it, the risk is a little bit higher for those teams to go do those things. However, it does become the big problem of, if they're like 4 levels ahead, they've got like a talent and 4 levels worth of HP and everything else. That's going to be a really hard engagement to get if the advantaged team stays together as 5.
I mean, that's the way it should be, though. Like, I don't want handouts to anyone who's behind. When you got behind, it's because you got outplayed in the early game, and it should, like, this is a good way to give someone a way back into the game without it being like a silly crutch attached to a wheelchair, attached to having Blizzard hold your hand.
Okay, well, if you've got a situation where the 2 teams now are basically 5v5ing each other, what's the reality of anyone making a sick play to get a team kill when you're 3 levels behind?
It just comes down to, like, maybe someone had a rough start, but, like, you have someone on your team being, like, motivational and like, hey, we got this, guys, we can still come in, our comp's focused on late game, it's better late game than theirs, just keep our head in it, and you make a few good plays, you get the kills, you come back because of it. Like, obviously, when you're 4 levels ahead, you have the advantage, but people get cocky. It happens all the time, and you will, like, overextend, you'll mess up, and okay, they've done that once. Let's try and make them do it 1 or 2 more times, and we're back in this game, guys. Good job. It's like kind of like a carrot on a stick in a sense.
Yeah.
It gives you.
It's
that,
like
I mean, it almost like in terms of like team fights, like it's not impossible to actually make plays in a 5v5 situation. I mean, if you have a Stitches, you can pull someone out and get a gank and then just disengage. If you have Zero Tool, obviously you can make plays. You can just lock down 3, kill 1 or 2 of them, disengage, and then slowly come back that way. It just comes down to how you initiate and making that an option to pick off players and get back in the match.
Okay.
especially because I think one of the biggest reasons why I kind of stopped watching the LCS this season is because it feels like nothing really matters until that very, very, very last engagement. And there will be teams that have been making mistakes all game long, doing a ton of dumb things, and then all of a sudden they get one miracle engagement while the enemy team is in their, about to kill their Nexus, and then all of a sudden it just turns completely around and they just win because of that anti-snowball. I mean, that's a really exaggerated example, but it gets so frustrating when that anti-snowball stuff just makes it so that only the last engagement is actually what's going to win you the game.
Yeah, I mean it's not like the ideal answer for every player, but it's like a nice middle ground. It's not the one before was just ridiculous.
I want to see them give a bonus.
You think it would be more beneficial to have the fort bonus or like a
no,
Merc
both,
bonus?
both. I want to. Well, no, Mercs would be.
No, both, because there's only a finite number of forts, and what if you're both down to
I guess that's true. So maybe a bonus to both would be fine. But the reason I want to see that is because I really do think that the play is gonna become transparent as like what you need to do to make a comeback. And it'd be cool if you could see some other teams like, well, we can either roam as 5 to try and get ganks, or we can try to get sneaky and take Merc camps, and it's like, well, we can also come back this way too. But if the other team's on top of all of that and they're really playing well, they can still shut it down. I don't know.
Yeah.
Food for thought. Food for thought.
I don't know, like I have trouble getting out of the competitive mindset, but when I look at something and like when someone's 3 or 4 levels ahead, they're there because they played very well. They just outplayed. Like, you don't see the top teams like scrimming against each other and see a huge level deficit. Like, there might be a 1 or 2, but I mean, I don't know. I can't get into that mindset. I don't want them to. Like, helping them is nice, but any more just feels like it's overkill. But that's just because I think about the game differently.
I mean, we'll feel it out when it gets here, and I feel like we'll know how we feel about it, but it's definitely gonna be one of those things that needs testing before we get a real strong opinion on it.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I like it when you have the option of going with these early aggression, super strong characters that don't have the ability to scale, and they get 90% of the advantage in order to turn that into a win. And with the previous anti-snowball measures, that type of composition was just, it didn't work anymore.
Yeah. Nova's great early game, but falls off late game. It's just kind of, she has that insta-gib, but other than that, she's a great assassin.
Like taking in Venom. In Venom, I don't know about Nova. Like, I've been playing Nova a lot.
She's much better late game.
I don't find she really falls off that much, especially when you get
really good.
When you get like planetary strike.
She's not good at all.
She's good. She's good late game.
Oh, we're gonna have to talk about Nova next week.
Let's do
talk
it.
about Nova next week.
Let's do it.
Not good. You're silly.
On. We'll see. We'll have to see where this goes.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, you can pub stomp with Nova, but against solid people, Nova's not good.
Well, solid Jake would know about that then, right?
But.
All right.
All right, what's next?
Let's talk about Zagara, or do we want to talk about
Zagara? Let's talk about Zagara. I'm so happy.
We've seen her before. We saw her at PAX East in a little show match, and her kit's the exact same as the one they posted today. Like, I was kind of curious to see if it would be changed at all, but all the spells are the exact same. I mean, I posted the video on Reddit, so if you guys haven't seen the show match, go over to Heroes of the Storm subreddit, and you can watch the show match. I don't know, like, I'm super hyped. Like, I cannot wait. I have 10k gold just sitting there. As soon as she's live, man, I am buying her and grinding out the games,
gonna
man.
be
I am
10K?
so excited.
Really don't want her to be 10K.
She's gonna be 10K, bro.
She's
Why
gonna
is
be-
everybody they release now 10K? What is this,
Take
Riot?
our money.
Murky was only 5,500.
Was he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, I thought he was 10K. Never mind then, I take back my point.
He should have been 10K so no one could buy him because, you know.
Because you know.
Because he kills the fun in the game, so every
But,
every solo queue experience I've ever had with him.
dude, she is so cool looking. There's
Yeah.
no way she's not 10K. Like, she has to be.
Yeah.
I don't know.
She
I don't
looks-
know.
she
I don't
looks-
think. I don't think she's really that. Her kit does not seem like it's really, really difficult to execute. I think she might actually even be 2K.
Are there any
I
2K
don't know.
specialists?
I hope that this is going to be the first one.
Is
Because
Gazlo 2K? I think
really-
Gazlo's 2K.
Gazlo's
he's 55.
he's 55. Yeah, I
Oh.
think he is 55.
I mean, looking at her kit, it's all like a Hydra that follows.
Well-
I mean, let's
well,
just go over her
let's-
kit.
yeah,
her
let's-
Q is a directional forward Baneling barrage. Shoots out X amount of Banelings. They go forward. They
In a
roll into
straight
stuff,
line.
and they in a straight line, and then they explode. Her W is a Hunter Killer, which you target an enemy, and it goes after that enemy and keeps kind of hunting them until it kills them.
So my big
Or
question
dies.
is like, what's the range going to be on this? Probably something.
Well, it's
similar
gonna.
to
I mean,
it.
W's gonna have more of a time. That's gonna be, I think, what's really important. Baneling Barrage. They make a note later on saying that you can snipe far off enemies. So Baneling Barrage is gonna have a really long range.
Right, but
Oh, that's
It's
so
just-
cool.
Hunter-
Just like picture them just like going, no, like on Dragonshire where the map's just a complete straight across the middle, and you just like send it from your palace and just go
they
straight across the
specifically
map.
say that.
That
Yeah.
would be so cool. Although, does it
Um,
actually say that? That'd be cool.
I think it does.
Yeah, and then E is the thing that I don't like about E is it feels very similar to Witch Doctor's spiders, but it spawns down a drop pod which then shoots out, or yeah, a Zerg pod, whatever the heck they call it,
Yeah.
and shoots out Roachlings. Those I guess
The
they
thing,
they should have been Zerglings, but they already gave Kerrigan Zerglings, so they just made them Roachlings.
Probably.
the cool thing I like about it though is that everything spawns multiple something. It just feels Zergy.
Yeah,
like,
it's so
Yeah.
Zerg
Zergy.
is so massy and just like swarmy, and this just feels that. Like we'll have to see how she plays, but like from what I've seen of her and just reading her description, she feels swarmy. Like I'm like, so excited.
Yeah, definitely.
But you are right; it does feel kind of repetitive a little bit. The E.
And then she's got creep tumors on her trait, which make her move faster and her minions move faster. Which is that's another really weird one. Like I don't understand why they'd make this ability that kind of ruins what the map looks like, just to make things move faster. Like if it had more of if it revealed, no, not revealed, but if it like kept vision or something, that'd be really cool.
It does, doesn't
It
it?
does.
Does it?
Yeah, that's a
They
creep
didn't,
tumor.
they didn't say that in
I
the
remember-
trait.
I
They didn't
remember
say
that-
it in the trait.
They said it at BlizzCon. Or
Yeah,
PAX,
no, they said it at
PAX.
PAX East.
Yeah.
I remember them specifically saying that Zagara's hard to gank when the creep tumors are up because she can see everything.
And then her last one, she's got the 2 heroic abilities. The Nidus Network, which is really cool. Really want to try that out. They make the awesome point that you should have one at the fountain, so you can just keep going back and forth from the fountain.
wonder how
expanding
many you
all
can
your
keep up.
abilities.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's-
that's the curiosity too.
That's the
Yeah.
question. I assume 2. I assume you have 2 ends.
Oh, maybe that's the 20 upgrade. To have many.
But how would you choose which one to go to?
Wait, what were we talking about?
You
The
go in
bullets?
the network and then you just pick it on the minimap.
Yeah, it's
I
like a
guess.
normal Nidus Network. And then she's got the other one, which is like Engrossing Maw. I can't actually see it because Jake hasn't scrolled down.
Devouring Maw.
Devouring Maw. And that is area of effect, disables enemies, and does damage. So I'm really curious to see what.
It reminded me of the
How
Sarlacc
that-
for some reason. Like it
Sarlacc.
looks so cool. I'm so hyped for it, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna be like Nidus Orb's gonna be better. I'm sorry. Unless is the Sarlacc only one or not the Sarlacc? What's it called? What's the
In
heroic
his
called?
belly,
Devouring
you
Maw.
will learn the meaning of pain as you are digested over the course of 10,000 years.
When?
What's the
I really
heroic called?
thought for a second that was going to be a picture of a Sarlacc.
That would have been funny. Jake failed production-wise. Good job.
Sorry.
If it can hit multiple people, that thing's gonna be sick. But I think it'd be broken if it could hit
That's-
multiple. Into that, like, oh my god, that sounds so good. Not even that, like, people clump up so much in team fights, like without even Gazlo. You could hit like it was either a Zeratul combo or CSC just point out too. Like I guess it is AoE. Like that could be really good then.
It's
like,
definitely a wombo
the picture
combo
looked
ability.
so cool that like it just devoured the Rainer in the video. I think is what it did.
Yeah.
Well, it looks so cool. I don't know, but like she's gonna be at least fun to play. I hope she's not another Murky.
Oh, she's another Murky.
She like
Well,
in the
Murky
sense that
Murky has a different. Like there's other split pushers. She's a split pusher. I think Murky has a completely different kit that just makes everybody angry.
Well, I'm not talking about. I don't care about people who are happy or angry against Murky. Murky's not good at the top level. He is the easiest hero to like. If you know how to shut him down, Murky does nothing. Like that's just the way it is. I hope Zagara is not another like
Not like that. Oh, okay.
Like I hope she has a much wider skill range and can be like, effective even against good people. Like if she's like annoying to fight against and people are like, oh, Zagara ruins the game, I don't care. I just want her to be usable.
My favorite thing in a MOBA type game is mobility, and that's why I play Brightwing, because it can be anywhere at any time. And this is my two favorite heroes in the game right now are Murky and Brightwing. I like Murky because he's obnoxious and push, and Brightwing because she's all over the map. Now Zagara can do both. So I can push and be anywhere. Oh my god, I can't wait. It's like seriously my dream hero right now. So I'm very, very excited. Now, am I the only one who... I thought I read that... I might be crazy, but there's going to be a second hero in this patch, possibly?
No, okay, so Veilfire tweeted that they were interviewing people they were doing audio work for 2 new heroes. Like, he was just saying, like, hey, guys, we have 2 people in the studio today doing work for heroes that are coming up. But that doesn't mean they're going to be launched together.
Okay.
He was just saying he had the 2, voice actors in there. I think
a bit of a leap in logic. People assumed.
Yeah.
Well, no, I think people were assuming that because they also had the Anub'Arak / Nerubian.
Well, people were assuming that before the Anub'Arak thing. The Anub'Arak in the video
yeah.
kind of ensures that, but I still don't know if it's true.
Yeah, well, no, so people were thinking, well, he's a stealth assassin. Maybe he's stealthily making it into this patch. But that's not probably
that blows my mind, too. But yeah, let's talk about Anub'Arak. I kind of think that's really cool that they just kind of threw him in the video. Like,
it's cheeky.
Blizzard has never been subtle about anything. Like, Warlords or Draenor isn't even out, and like everyone knows the entire plot of it because they just told everybody.
Yeah.
Like they don't hide things, and then they just kind of sneak Anub'Arak into this video. If he comes out with a Zagara, that'd be so cool. Like,
so
I don't know.
Really interesting because they didn't announce him at all at PAX or anything else.
They mentioned 3 new upcoming heroes. They mentioned Sylvanas, Chen, Stormstout, and Kael Thas at PAX. They showed us Brightwing and Lily, and they said you're getting them soon. And then they showed Anub'Arak. Oh no, showed Zagara as well. Brightwing, Lily, Zagara, and Murky. Those are the 4 they said were soon. And then they said Chen, Sylvanas, and Kael Thas.
Yeah.
Now,
as a sneak peek into the future, like things that are still being developed.
But we saw Anub'Arak at BlizzCon. Anub'Arak's like on the poster for the game.
He's been on a poster for a while.
Yeah, the poster's on my wall. Anub'Arak's like top left corner, and we've known he's going to be in the game, but they haven't said a word about him. And then suddenly, he's in this video.
What? They still haven't said any words.
Right.
I hope he just shows up. Like, I hope they don't even do a hero week for him. I hope there's no hype around him. He just pops up. That would be. That'd be the coolest.
I think an even cooler thing would be if he not even on a Tuesday, just you opened up on like a Friday or a Saturday, and you just see there's like one more hero icon.
What if you booted up the game and Thrall was just in the game, like?
That'd be awesome.
The game actually just says that when you boot it up, and you're like, oh my god.
Thrall has been unlocked.
Yeah, I'm excited for Anub'Arak. He's one of the coolest boss fights in Wrath of the Lich King.
Yeah.
Trial of the Crusader was an awesome instance, and I'm kind of excited for him. People think he's going to be an assassin. I hope he's an assassin because we need more of them, but based off like gameplay and lore, he's always been slow and kind of tankier.
He has to be a tank.
That's what I thought, but a lot of people, like when Kevin said it this morning to me, like people thought he was an assassin. I thought it was like a few people. There are a lot of people that think he's going to be like the stealth assassin or the shadow assassin. I think is what people's calling him. So I don't know, like.
That's because that's what he was in
War 3 Frozen Throne.
In Dota he was like he was.
Oh, well, you
an
can't
assassin.
compare Dota to.
Well, no, that's why I think everybody's thinking that. Actually, wait.
Okay.
No, hold on. No, he's called Nerubian Assassin in Dota. So
Oh.
Yeah.
What if
And then he
he's a
became
stealth-
Nyx. I think they named him Nyx in Dota 2 because of copyrights.
Yeah.
If I remember
Okay.
correctly.
I'd be
What if
shocked.
what if he's a stealth tank?
That-
Ooh.
Well, I mean, that'd be cool.
like
but-
a tank with a
He does
burrow?
have the burrow. He has the burrow. He has, that he's got a slow, heavy attack, and he's got like the frost orbs and like the minions he spawned. Like I just see him as a tank because when you look at the rating counter of him, he's very slow.
Think of a tank that can actually like imagine if you're trying to. I don't know, any situation. Being able to burrow as a tank is really interesting and really can reward good play and would definitely reward bad play. He'd be a very high skill tank because he would be a lot not as intuitive as the other tanks, I think.
Yeah.
But I'm very excited for him as a hero in general.
Yeah, no doubt.
In that video, just real quick, I mean, we also saw some skin updates. We saw this Vala update, and Kev's really excited about this new Diablo skin, which is so sick.
boy!
It's got the freaking stone on the head that looks really sick.
He's already got the stone in the head
Well, I
in
mean, it
the
looks
in-game
sick
model,
now.
but I mean,
Three
just like
hands.
no, just look at his face. Just look at his face. It looks so much more brutal. Just like he just should be like death growling. Just
He
a
looks
constant. There's like in his head is just nothing but Norwegian black metal.
I'm gonna say something today that's gonna piss Kevin off, but I was playing Heroes earlier today, and Kaijo Diablo, the green tint, is the coolest tint in game.
Yeah,
And skin.
I knew I
was-
didn't respect your opinion, but it's,
It
I
was
mean,
just
now this
so
just
much
kind
cooler
of
than Mercablo.
No,
It is
Mercablo
so
is the best
cool.
skin in the game. That's it.
No man, Kaijo Diablo, the Reptar tint
The
is the best.
Reptar tint, I love
The
it.
Reptar tint
It is
is the
Reptar.
best.
Yeah.
No,
But
no.
yeah, man, like I hope Blizzard keeps like the subtle teases. Like I when I
Yeah,
saw
it's cool.
when I watched through it the second time, I saw Anub'Arak. I got more hype for Anub'Arak than I did Zagara. Like that was
I mean,
so cool.
for me, Zagara's playstyle is the most appealing thing ever. But like, I just remember when they first showed off like their first initial like skin revamps, like Uther. I was just
Yeah.
like, oh my god, the difference is like ridiculous. Like
Yeah.
Tyrande used to look like trash, and she looks so good now. So let's not even talk about Falstad. It's really nice to see them just like touching up a game that's not even out yet. Like
Well, yeah, it's alpha.
Yeah.
These are probably like placeholder, like all these were placeholder stuff.
yeah. So it's nice. I'm pumped.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's a lot of cool stuff. Did we want to do Kubi's questions and then break, and then do Tassadar when we get back, or?
We could skip the break today. I don't even care about doing it
Need a
myself.
break. Just go into Tassadar. Let's do
All
it.
right, let's do it, guys. This week we are going to be deep diving into the hero Tassadar, and we're going to talk about him a lot. There are multiple. Tassadar's one of the few heroes that has completely different. I don't want to say play styles because his kit doesn't change, but he has completely different roles. He can be either a full-on support, he can be a damage dealer with just pure Archon damage talents, or he can be kind of a hybrid mix between the two. And we're going to go over both of them. Both the damage and the support aspects of him, which is really cool. Kevin, are you actually ready today?
I am ready. I am
All right, let's go
prepared.
ahead, Kevin. Let's do it.
So
Let's go over
Tassadar is the savior of the Templar.
Wow.
In the lore, he's got a whole bunch of awesome stuff. So if you haven't read anything about Tassadar, if you haven't played StarCraft 1, go do that right now. Just quit the show.
Real quick.
I don't care.
Wow.
Like when I played StarCraft, the original one, that I was like 6 or 7. Like that was the first time a hero, like and everything I've ever seen. Like spoilers, guys. In StarCraft 1, Tassadar dies. Like
Yeah.
we've had 20 years to play the game. I'm sorry, but he freaking dies, and that was the first time, like as a gamer, that someone's ever died on me, and I was like so heartbroken because Tassadar was the coolest hero throughout the entire series, like throughout the entire game. Like Tassadar has one of the coolest storylines out of all Blizzard heroes.
Zerg's way cooler.
What? No. Okay, first
Oh.
off, Tassadar's death, like, do you ever get, like, that really amped feeling when you're watching, like, Naruto or something like that, and they're about to
Oh
cast,
my
like, this
God.
massive spell? Or, like,
bravery.
DBZ when he finally
How,
gets
how
8
did you
episodes
how
in.
did you pronounce
Hold
it? Naruto?
on. Naruto.
Naruto.
Sorry.
Naruto?
Or, like, in like, any, like, mech fight, and you're just like, yeah, let's go do something! Or, right? It's just when Tassadar freaking crashes the Ganithor into the Overmind. Oh,
was
man, that was the
epic.
most hype thing in the entire world.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get back to Tassadar. So Tassadar, he's got a combat trait called Oracle, which is interesting because an Oracle is a unit, but he's got a combat trait called Oracle. It's got a cooldown of 30 seconds. It greatly increases Tassadar's vision radius and allows him to detect enemy heroes, cloaked enemy heroes. Lasts for 7 seconds. Incredibly strong ability. Allows you to get some of that map control. Allows you to see pretty much everything. His Q is Plasma Shield. What is a Protoss without his shields? Shields target ally absorbing 240 per level damage after before breaking. Lasts 8 seconds. It's got an 8-second cooldown. Super low. It's damage mitigation before the damage gets there, which is an incredibly awesome way to think about how a support can work. His W is Time Warp. It's an area of effect. It should have been Psystorm.
Yeah.
It's a cooldown of 12 seconds. It deals 24 damage plus 8 per level per second to enemies in target area and slows attacks and movement speeds by 35%. Lasts 4 seconds. His E is Void Shift. Cooldown of 20 seconds. It's his escape mechanism. Tassadar becomes invulnerable and invisible to enemies. Lasts for 1.5 seconds. He's got two awesome...
Vulnerable, right?
No, he is invulnerable. He doesn't take damage.
I've died to
No,
poison
if he has like poison on him, he'll steal.
Oh yeah, poison. Yes, there's some weird things.
Sir, I think they changed him. I think there's certain things that can hit him. Like, I don't know if it was like weird timing, but I think Tyranda's E killed me recently. I don't know if it's because I was just ending or what, but I definitely died to it.
I think what they make it is so that he's untargetable and unaffected by area of effect. But if you're already poisoned, that damage is already considered before the invulnerability clicks in.
That makes sense.
Heroic abilities. He's got Twilight Messiah, which he turns into a massive Archon, fusing both the Kala and what's the other energy for the Dark Templar? Just doing it by himself, because normally too high.
Because he's Tassadar.
Yeah, because
he's God tier.
Tassadar gains a 210 plus 40 per level point shield, and his basic attacks deal 94 plus 14 per level damage, and his basic attacks splash for half that. Lasts for 15 seconds. He's got a Force Wall, which is his second heroic ability. It's got a cooldown of 12 seconds, very low cooldown. Creates a Force Wall that blocks units from passing through it, lasts for 3 seconds. Incredibly useful for disengages or splitting up an enemy team. And that's Tassadar. That's all she wrote.
So, before all of his nerfs, Tassadar, like, he's still God tier. He's still, like, top tier. He's up there with Kerrigan. But before that, he was the first hero in-game that was considered top tier. Like, Uther was, like, everyone complained about it first, but Uther, like, people started to realize to deal with him, and they got nerfed 100 times. So Tassadar was the first hero in-game that people were like, he is the best, hands down. And then he got nerfed a few times, so he's fallen down a bit. I'd say he's, like, in the same tier as Kerrigan, but Kerrigan might be a little bit better.
Wait, hold on. In the same tier as Kerrigan.
But she's God tier.
I don't know if I heard
God
that.
tier.
You mean his previous iteration?
No, his current iteration.
Right now, he's in the same tier as Kerrigan?
Yeah, Tassadar's fantastic.
He's good. But
a good Tassadar is unstoppable.
A
good Tassadar is unstoppable. He's got so much versatility with both of his heroics. He can literally do anything your team wants. You don't have to know what your other team you're going against. If you're light on if you like all of a sudden don't need 2 supports, you can go pure damage on Tassadar and just wreck face with Archon. Or if you need a little versatility, Force Wall can completely save your team from getting wiped. It is the most ridiculous positioning spell in game. It is fantastic. Tassadar can make anything like work. Tassadar is God tier.
Yeah,
he's very good.
He's very versatile. He's got a lot of... The thing is why I don't put him as God tier is because he can't do damage, sustain, and CC all at the same time. Like, he doesn't really have the ability to do it all at the same time like Kerrigan does. If you're going for... it's either 2 of the 3, really. Like, he's got damage and sustain when he's got his shields and Archon mode, but he doesn't really have that much crowd control. And his crowd control, if you go full support, makes him do no damage. That's why I don't put him at God tier.
Even if you don't go damage build, he does still great damage. Like, his W does ridiculous damage. It helps you secure kills, it can clear waves, even if you don't get the talent to increase its damage. His auto attack does great damage, whether you're putting points into the slow or the focus attack. Like, he still has good damage, whether you're building into it or not.
I don't agree with that. You think Tyrael does more or less damage than Tassadar, don't you?
Yeah.
I know what you're thinking.
If you go support build, you think support Tassadar is better in damage than Tyrael.
Well, not if you're going pure damage on Tyrael, no. But that's the only thing to say.
No, that's all I had to. That's my only question. Anyway,
that was a random
Continue.
That was a random question.
No, I was just you have a very interesting definition of damage.
When their life goes down after like any spell or attack, that's damage. Or like shields start taking damage.
Thanks for clarifying that.
That's damage. That's my definition of damage.
No, yeah. Cool.
Anyway, let's
I just had to
look
get
at
that.
this dude Tassadar.
Tassadar.
Tassadar. All right.
Yo,
So
check out his third skin tint. It's like the coolest thing in the world.
Real talk. How do we build Tassadar? How do you guys each build him?
Can we look at the tint first?
Okay.
Just,
Does he have it?
just make me happy.
Oh, that's so cool!
That's pretty
so
good.
cool. It's so cool. Anyway,
Uh,
so when I play solo queue, I 100% of the time build him damage, unless I'm going against a Murky, and then I go for support, full support, or Blackheart's Bay. Blackheart's Bay support Tassadar makes coins pretty much useless. He can pretty much diminish coin, like the amount of the damage from each of those salvos from the ship,
Yeah.
by half.
Yeah.
I like when I go solo queue, I do the same Archon no matter what. But personally, I don't like. Okay, Archon is fantastic. It does super damage. It'll like insta give an entire team. I just personally prefer Force Wall. Like the plays you can make with Force Wall, like either cutting off an enemy or saving your entire team. I think that unless you have 3 supports and you need the damage, you should go Force Wall all the time. It's a personal preference thing for me more than like I'm not saying Archon is bad. Like Archon is ridiculous. Like it can instantly give like an entire team.
That's the nice thing about Tassadar and solo queue, because like you said, both are so good that like it's a situational thing. Like it's like, okay, we don't have any damage, I'm gonna go DPS Tassadar, and it's totally viable. So it's a nice option to have for sure.
Yeah, 90% of players go Archon just because it's very good. Like it's not bad. But I think that like when you get good with Force Wall, like
at a competitive
it's
level,
just,
it's amazing. It's
like Idra and I were running Tassadar Tychus, or not Tassadar Tychus today. He was on Tychus. We were pushing their fort.
Oh,
Idra threw the grenade. Someone came through. Force Wall.
yeah,
He couldn't get away. He died. Like there's so many plays you can make with Force Wall that
And
it's
the
just,
cooldown
I
is
find
like
it more fun.
the cooldown's like nothing. What is it? 8 seconds?
Yeah,
No,
it's
it's
8.
12.
You can
12.
spam it constantly.
It's
The wall?
It's 12 or 10. It's one
12.
of the two.
12.
12.
It's 12.
Yeah, that's so good.
You know, again, it's more of a personal preference thing. Archon is ridiculous, and it's probably the go-to option most of the time. It's just I prefer running Force Wall because the plays you can make are so very fun.
I mean, I definitely think that at the higher level, Force Wall is definitely the better option. It just like the plays you can make with a real composition is definitely, even for saving or securing kills, whatever. It's just having that much control of the map is ridiculous. Like,
Yeah.
it's invaluable. Archon's super fun and like really cool. I still hope they make like a Dark Archon that has Storm as an ability. Like I hope that's a hero at some point. Just like flat out Dark Archon all the time with Storm.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's cool to have Archon, I guess. But Force Wall's better. Like it's just better.
guess.
It's just better.
I think I agree with you. At the top tier, Force Wall will be better in most situations, but again, like solo queue, 100% Archon is usually the way to go, just because you will face Mellow Team, and Archon is great whenever you don't. You need the extra damage. Like,
I guess we're skipping level 10 when we go through talents, though.
Well, let's just do 2 builds. You know, let's go through it twice.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
all right, I like that.
So as
It's,
we're doing this, going through each of the talents, we'll have to keep in mind that we can cater to each of these playstyles, and we'll sort of, at least from our opinions, we'll highlight what we think is the best in terms of each build. So, talent tier 1, what do you guys take?
Which one are we doing? Let's do support.
Yeah, we'll start support here.
Okay. Is this the damage tier or the time?
This is level 1. Regen Master, Path of the Wizard, Time Rift, or Healing Ward.
It doesn't matter which build I'm going. I always go for Path of the Wizard.
Agreed?
Yeah, same. Well, Time Rift, there's sort of a place for Time Rift, but you have to have like a Lily or something.
When going support, I get Path of the Wizard, but when going pure damage, if I'm going like a hybrid or support, I get Path. But if I'm going pure damage, I go Time Rift. I never really feel too mana heavy on him, and they were like, "Oh crap, I'm on Tassadar." That like, really never happens.
Yeah, it's not too bad. He's not one of the heroes that's like super mana starved, but
yeah. And when I'm going pure damage, it's because we have multiple supports, so I'm not spamming like all of my like support spells and like peeling all the time. You know, I'm just going full on in your face kill.
Yeah, yeah.
And Time Rift is so good; it does more damage than people realize. So I mean, but for support, yes, Path of Wizard. Let's just focus on support the first.
Yeah, I hate to like interject. I just read something in the chat. Somebody said, "I wish Force Wall stopped Murky's ultimate, the March of Murlocs."
That would be broken.
That would be broken,
Well, I mean,
dude.
that
would be.
He's already got shielding.
Tassadar is like the best anti-murky that exists.
Like he doesn't need the Force Wall for that. Like the shield is already really good.
His trait
he's got the scryer.
His trait immediately just gets rid of the murky possibility of having those eggs near anywhere that.
Well, not the eggs. March is the.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like Tassadar is already a murky killer because his trait allows you to see where the egg is if you're
you don't have
on
to
him
hunt
out.
as long. Yeah.
His shields just stop so much damage from murky. I mean, he's so good at killing murky.
Yeah.
Anyway,
level 4.
All right.
For support,
Cause Embrace.
Well, let's read them. Let's read them. Focused attack. Which
Are we not doing the Trouble?
Huh?
Yeah,
okay.
I just posted it. Just posted it.
Okay, never mind.
So we got focus attack, space jump, reinforce structure, and promote. Now,
all right. If I'm going support, I take reinforce usually. Cause
I always take space jump.
It depends on the match. Depends on the enemy team.
Even when I'm full on support, there are very
Yo, John.
There are very even on Haunted Mines, there are very few situations where I'm constantly putting shields up on buildings.
Reinforce.
What is funny?
80%. It was it was 100% initially on reinforce.
So when I'm playing support Tassadar, the only ever time I get reinforced structure is when I'm playing on Blackheart's Bay because that really helps with those cannon blasts. But Space Jump, I almost said Space Jam. Space Jump is really awesome for engagements because you put it in front of you, like when you're trying to get away from something, and now you get the movement speed and they get the debuff. Or you put it way in front of the enemy, they get the debuff, and then when you guys are running through it, you get the speed boost.
You don't even have to put it way in front of them. You can just throw it on top of them as you're chasing through.
Yeah. No, don't get me wrong. Space Jump is really, really good most of the time. I get it. But if they have a Murky, and in the future, if they have a Zagara or any kind of extreme push, like even a Hammer, Reinforce is ridiculously good.
Yeah, there's a place for it. I do get it
absolutely. It's definitely.
I like it on Dragon Shard too. Like I'll make sure that I'm in the middle lane, always having all of those towers and walls shielded, because that's typically where they're going to go immediately. So I don't know. I usually take Reinforce. I guess it depends a bit on the map, but yeah.
It's interesting that it kind of shows our differences in important here. Both Zoya and I are thinking for team fights, and you two are both thinking for protecting objectives and being ready for those types of things.
The late game. It's just getting to the late game kind of thing.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing.
All right, let's go level 7. I think we're all pretty one-sided on this one.
Well, we didn't talk DPS build.
We're going to go back through at the end. Let's just go through support.
We've been doing both on the way.
Let's just do them both right now.
Okay. Focus attacks if we're going DPS.
Yeah, same.
I still...
You still go space jump?
Focus. No. I was thinking tier 7.
Yeah, all right.
Focus attacks.
Focus attacks unanimous, okay.
Yeah. Just to explain a little bit more why I go focus attacks, the extra damage is awesome, but now because the basic attacks reduce cooldown and focus attacks by 1 second, later on when you get Berserk, you do a lot of attacks very quickly, and that means that your focus attack is up very often, especially when you hit that Dark Archon, you're doing 2k damage hits when that focus attack is up.
Yeah.
I think it's 2k, it might be less. So it's 1400 for a normal hit, and then I think it's probably 2k for that. So it's awesome. Anyway, continue.
Yep, let's move on.
I think that covers it. Yeah. Wow. Kev, you'd be happy to see there's some supporters for the mule.
Yeah. Whoa, hold on. Really? You guys don't go mule on Tassadar?
Are you mule is not something you should just go all the time, Kevin. Especially on Tassadar. Call's Embrace is ridiculous.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's a really good talent, but
There
Mule's
are,
better.
Mule is a
Sure you're done?
situational thing. You should go Mule on Haunted Mines, and only if you're the only support on Tassadar.
Honestly,
And you should go it versus a Murky.
if you go level
That's
4,
not going to happen 100% of the games.
if you grab Reinforce and Mule, I think it's overkill. I think it's unnecessary. I think if you grab Reinforce...
Unless you're on Blackheart's Bay, because then
then
every
you're just
time that there's
invincible.
a barrage on one and it takes it down like most of the way, you heal it all the way back up, and then you have a shield on it whenever the next barrage is.
If you're taking reinforced structure, you have to take Hall's Embrace. There's no question.
Yeah.
It just makes the
And if you
previous
don't,
previous talent pointless.
Mule is fantastic, but Kala's Embrace is so freaking good. It is one of the best talents of his entire talent tree.
Core, that's what I'm getting at. When you take Kala's Embrace and you take reinforced structure, that's like as good as a Mule, except it's also benefiting players as well. So it's really good on players and structures. I think it's a no-brainer. If that's the kind of way you're thinking, like it's just like infinitely better for like multiple situations. It has more diversity. You can't heal up your little Diablo with a Mule. Doesn't work that way. You can't even heal up Tychus and he's in a suit. So like,
Kev, what say you?
Are we actually? I'm sorry, I was completely blanking out because I thought you guys were.
Because he's
talking.
like a dork that goes like. Mule is not something you should default every single game.
I don't understand how you can look at a talent like Mule and be like, oh, well, they just attacked my fort and it's almost dead, but this one talent can heal it all the way back up.
Right wing, who's going to be taking Mule. You're going to go double Mule and not take Kala's Embrace.
So what I just said is basically, if you grab Reinforce and you grab Kala's Embrace, that's
no one grabs Reinforce. Kevin and I don't grab Reinforce. It's a bad talent.
That's not a bad talent. Reinforce is not a bad talent, but. Here's the thing, Jake. All right, so that's great. That's great. Your your shield gets like 1,000 extra hit points on something. You know what? That's adorable. Mule will heal a fort from nothing to full. Like I don't see how that's even a question of why you.
What if you already have? You're ignoring my question altogether. What if you have a Lily that's already got Mule? It's not Haunted Mines and there's not a Murky. You're gonna go double Mule over having shields that preemptively keep your team with an extra 500 to 1,000 extra life before you go into a team fight.
Well, if I already have a Lily, then I'm going for damage Tassadar. I'm not going for support Tassadar.
So what are you gonna take? Searing attacks?
Yeah, searing attacks on damage attacks.
Kala's Breaks is freaking. You guys.
Wait, hold on. You don't get searing attacks when you're playing as damage Tassadar?
I don't go damage Tassadar. I already said this. I only go.
If we're building damage, if we're building the damage Tassadar along with support, do you also get it?
What is your suggestion, Jared?
I think you should always get Kala's Embrace. It's ridiculous. 50% of the shield remains indefinitely.
And 50% more damage on Dark Archon.
Tassadar doesn't have mana issues, especially when going Archon Tassadar. You don't just go All you do is right-click people. You're constantly spamming Q on your team, giving them an indefinite shield that just keeps them.
Damage.
By the way, that only stacks once for in case people were under.
That's still huge. The shield is so much extra absorption.
Yeah, it's good, but damage Tassadar. Damage. You need more damage.
Where's the damage? Tassadar anyways. It's better.
So do you think in damage build battle momentum has any place?
No. If you're going damage, get steering.
You're not spamming abilities. The thing about damage Tassadar is it's I call it on hit Tassadar because you don't worry about anything except for just doing your hits.
Yeah, it's true.
And so with when you get searing attacks, your Archon at level 10 does like 400, 500 damage a hit. And then when you get Berserk and Dark Archon later on, you're doing a clear 1,400 damage per hit with Berserk, and you're attacking like every half a second. So I go for searing attacks when I'm going for damage, and I go for Mule when I'm playing support.
Oh, apparently,
that's something.
36% agree with Mule.
You don't need Mule. You can use Kala's Embrace on buildings as well. It's just so no.
It's like
unless you have to have a Mule, unless you're going up against a comp where you're like, we need Mule this game, Tassadar, you're the only one that can get it, you should take Kala's Embrace.
I would love to hear, like, if you were to talk to, like, Zagara, and you'd be like, Zagara, I'm going to give you this ability on this champion in League of Legends that heals a tower. Would you take it? I bet you $bottom dollar.
I'm going to ask Don Regu if I could have a building that heals my Zerglings. You can't make that kind of comparison.
So
That's silly.
So
Jake, you want to put the popcorn in?
I just want to interject and say that Skyra was sitting in the front row watching Smash all weekend.
So he would choose
it's
not
amazing
Heroes of the
cross-
Storm. He
like-
would choose Smash. No, but I mean,
I saw a lot of League people in the audience, by the way. There's like and SEC people.
Kyle's Embrace is a really good talent. I'm not
It's
denying
the
that.
talent. It's not a really good talent. It's the talent. It's the talent. Unless you need a mule, Kevin. Unless
But
you're like
Mule is better.
Shit, I wish I had popcorn. I really, you mentioned it, and I'm just
The
like, damn,
objectives,
popcorn.
it's the objectives on the map.
Let's move on.
And
This is going nowhere.
Corey's marking his sheet.
Oh man,
We
I
Corey's
both
love
made our
marking his sheet.
arguments. We both made our arguments. Kevin's wrong, everybody. Move on.
Don't forget your butter, yo. I dropped 2 S words tonight.
You did.
Anyways,
Wow.
level 10 we already talked about. Obviously,
Thank you, Timsy. What a bad analogy. Oh, Scara, healing tip. Well, shut up, Kevin. Come on, what a silly thing to do. You can't
What is
compare
going on?
League and Scara to us. Come on, man.
that ain't esports.
That ain't esport. What? Okay. Let's talk damage. We all get string attacks?
Yes, everyone gets
damage.
searing attacks.
Yeah, I take steering attacks.
All right.
Boom.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I don't go damage Tassadar. I just like force. Do you ever have mana problems with just constantly sparing sitting attacks? I know. I mean, Tassadar does
not
really.
really-
You can
Not
run
really
out of mana
fighting
for
that
sure.
often.
You can, but
Okay.
Yeah.
So level 10, we're just gonna breeze over that. If you're going damage, Archon. If you're going full on support, Force Wall. More often than not, though, you're gonna want to take Archon. Just Force Wall is very.
It's so good.
Force Wall's really good.
I love
I have
it
a
so much.
video on my
That's-
YouTube. I think it's the second plays of the week that I have where I just have like 6 or 7 Force Walls that go down. You can just clearly see how many kills you can get with that Force Wall.
I'll make a blanket statement here. Force Wall is the only thing that makes Tassadar fun.
I don't think
I wouldn't
so.
go that
Yeah.
far. I would say it makes them much more fun.
Like I'm like, if I gotta play damage Tassadar, I'm like,
I don't know. Damage Tassadar I find really fun.
It's kinda-
I
it's
play,
alright.
I'd rather play
it's
Tyrande
like-
than damage Tassadar.
I play this really, like, sometimes when I'm playing Damage Tassadar, I do this really, like, cheeky move where I use Time Shift and I go and I cloak and I walk into the middle of their group during a team fight. And they normally, like, think that I've run the other way, but I will just go into the middle of their group, pop up, and they're like, oh, look, it's Tassadar. And then I just Archon, Berserk, and then searing attacks at once, and they're like, "Oh, it's just a Tassadar." Blah, 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 blah.
See, that sounds
I've
fun.
done that,
does
so
sound
many
fun.
times. It's
It is
so fun.
I usually save that for chasing people, but it's a cheeky thing. I like that. All right.
Yeah, Jake said it earlier though. I think when we get to like picks and bans, top level comps, and stuff like that, if you have a Tassadar on your team, you will be going Force Wall.
Yeah.
That will just be
Hands down.
the pro way to play Tassadar. Like
mean-
there's still like
Again, having control of the map and being able to separate their team is like invaluable. It's like not even like a wombo combo kind of thing. It's just like it's map control. It's like, oh wait, we almost have this tribute on Cursed Hollow. Oh, someone's coming. Oh, not anymore. They're blocking this path. So it's just got a lot of utility, a lot of uses for saving and just zoning. Zoning is, I mean, how important is map control in any game? It's like the most important thing in having control of the map, and just the ability to lock down a path is so freaking good. Like that's why I'm thinking,
Yeah,
like even with Zagara, Nidus sounds like OP as hell, but the other one, it's like it's not only zoning, but it's a stun on multiple heroes. So because you can force zoning with it, which is always a good thing. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's a no-brainer personally, but even if I was going DPS, I would consider getting it.
No,
I would.
don't say it.
I would.
Don't say it.
I mean, you're not. The biggest thing about the DPS is the splash damage.
Yeah, it's splash. You need
Ah,
that
okay.
reach.
I don't.
The
I
reach
obviously don't. I
and the
obviously
Dark
don't.
Archon.
I obviously don't.
The damage
ever
you,
play
you,
DPS.
if even if you do the DPS, you're not going to be anywhere close to an assassin unless you go for Archon.
yeah,
That's fair.
You have to get the Archon if you're going damage.
I'm a support kind of guy when it boils down to it. So. All right, moving on.
The least impactful person on the team.
Yep, of course. Don't do anything. Yeah, I just kind of sit there and just dick around with Brightwing, making cute sounds. Oh God, number 3, Corey.
Let's
Load
go
it
to
up.
level 13.
I'm feeling
Level 13.
generous today, stream.
Yeah. All right. Looks like most people take Distortion Beam here.
Well, we're talking
Which
reflect
is-
support first.
I'll distort your beam.
Ooh. Heyo.
I very rare like when I go shrink ray, it's a specific thing. Like if we need to shut down a Zeratul or we need to shut down an Illian or something like that.
And there's a lot of.
But I think Distortion Beam is very good in support Tassadar,
Yep.
depending on your comp. Like if you have a Tychus who's going Executioner and you need the extra slows, Distortion Beam's great. It's great for chasing and stuff. Shrink ray is good in like almost every situation, in any situation, but I only take Shrink Ray versus certain heroes, and then I'll just default to Distortion Beam. So it's like I swap between the two 50-50.
I actually agree 100%. Like, spot on. I don't ever get Scryer, and I don't ever get Spell Shield.
I only take Shrink Ray.
I only take Shrink Ray as well. Because, the thing about Distortion Beam, it's a really cool talent in theory. However, in practice, in actuality, I find that the Distortion Beam actually has... his standard attack has like this animation that goes to it, and it's like
the animation is really weird.
It's
It
really
throws you off.
slow, and you don't actually get all the ticks off that you really should. Like if somebody's running away from you and you have Distortion Beam, really I find that because you have to pause, stop, do the animation to like do the attack, which is very quick. It's like maybe 0.1 seconds. But because there's that stop and animation and everything that you have to do when you attack, the Distortion Beam, all it does is keep you within the same reach of the person that's trying to get away. Like, I don't ever find that if I'm doing the Distortion Beam attack and trying to, like, close that distance, that I'm actually going to really close it as much as I should be. It's not going to be a 25% difference in move speed close. It's going to be maybe a 5% move speed.
It's more about your allies catching up to someone, or saving an ally, than it is about.
You are
catching
right
up.
though. The animation for the graphic can really throw you off, and it can actually be buggy at times. That is very true. It's like a mind flay from WoW, just like a constant stream, but it like has a delay on the ticks, which kind of like, oh, I'm shooting this beam at someone, so you think it'd be consistent.
Mind flay.
Yeah, man. Mind
God,
flay.
can't wait for end of
So I always go for Shrink Ray because even if there's not a Zeratul, etc. in the game that, you know, somebody that's going to be in your face and you want to Shrink Ray them immediately, Illidan, Kerrigan, etc., which normally those are three of the biggest assassins, there's still somebody that you can just diminish all of their damage, and that's a pretty good thing to do anyway. So I always go for Shrink Ray, and if you're chasing somebody down, you want to close that gap, Shrink Ray wins hands down.
I mean,
compared to Disruption.
It lets you get in, get out. Like, you don't want to be too close to people with slowing them down. You can get in, cast Shrink Ray, back up.
Yep.
That's a lot to be said for that, I think. All right. moving on?
Damage.
Oh, yes, sorry.
Damage, same thing. Shrink Ray.
Yeah, I don't think there's an option for damage that makes one thing better than the other here.
Oh yeah.
I mean, shrink
I
Ray.
mean-
Shrink. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Distortion might be a little bit better on the damage.
I
spell,
probably
but-
would take Distortion, actually.
Yeah,
in
I was
this
gonna
case.
say distortion when going damage.
But Shrink Ray is very good. That is for sure.
Yeah, it definitely is. All right. Now, moving on. 16? Yes? Okay.
So we've got a Pre-Science, which Void Sift will automatically activate after Tassadar falls below 15% health. This effect has a 60-second cooldown. You've got... Is it Pre-Science or is it Prescience?
Prescience.
Free science. I don't know.
Pre-Science. Dimensional Shift. I just realized I'm an idiot. Dimensional Shift, which
I
grew
think that
50%
means,
faster and heal for a lot. I'm not even going to give the number. Heal for a lot while you're doing your Void Shift.
What? It should be called Never Die. That's what it should be called.
Yeah, Dimensional Shift is really strong. Rewind, which reduces all of your basic abilities by 10 seconds. Their cooldowns. And then Berserk, which is activate to increase your attack speed by 50% and move speed by 10% for 4 seconds.
Support dimensional shift, damage berserk.
That's fair.
Yeah, pretty much the same thing. Dimensional Shift is so good.
It's so good. Oh my god.
just so
The
good.
heal,
Yeah.
like
40
it says,
heal.
heal for 40.
Yeah.
Like you don't realize how much of a heal that it is.
so
Absurd how much that heals for.
Like-
Like holy cow!
I
And then
would-
the
Yeah, I could
50%
feel like-
movement speed, you get out. Like you're gone, guys.
You got,
I
like,
would
what, a
personally-
30 of your HP back, right?
Yeah.
Something. It's
Yeah, it's normally a third of your HP at that point at 16.
I mean,
And it scales super well.
I would grab Dimensional Shift even if it was just the move speed, personally. But to have the heal on it too is just like, oh, okay, I'm in a bad spot. Oh, I'm fine. I'm fine. It doesn't matter anymore. It's so freaking good. Like,
It's a shame you can't have this with Berserk as well, but
oh god, that'd be
for damage
that'd
that'd
be
be
so
amazing.
dumb.
It'd be so awesome.
But yeah, for damage, you need that Berserk. That 50% attack speed buff. Oh my god. And the 10% move speed buff. You're waiting.
But the cooldown for Berserk is so long.
So I don't run DPS Tassadar, but how godlike is Berserk Archon?
You can take
Really
down like a palace if it's at a third of its health, maybe maybe
The weird
more.
thing about me is when I go Archon, I do like a hybrid build, so I'm always getting Dimensional Shift because it's just ridiculous. But yeah, like when I see an Archon Tassadar that like, if you catch everyone in like an ETC stun and Archon Tassadar with Berserk comes up, well, congratulations, you just wiped their team because it's ridiculous. Like, attack speed by 50% when he is like Kevin said, he is an attack based hero. Like, you don't do spell damage,
Right.
you do attacks. 50% attack speed is like ridiculous. It melts. It's the like. Let's just go ahead and talk about it. Well, let's do level 20 and then we'll go back to this. But yeah, I think we're all in agreement. Dimensional Shift and Berserk are the way you want it.
Yep. All right.
Level 20.
Now, this is one of the heroes where I don't get Resurgence very often because
Yeah.
you can
Really?
live 9 times out of 10. Like, if you're dying as Tassadar, you're probably doing
You're
something
doing
wrong.
something terribly
Yeah,
wrong, especially
yeah.
with Dimensional Shift. Like, if you die and you have Dimensional Shift, you
Like-
deserve that 60 seconds.
Because Resurgence is amazing, and I have a policy where I almost always get it, but this is like one of those times where I break that policy because
Yeah.
it's just
No, I-
not
I
needed.
completely- But
So you guys
if you're
take Force
going
Gate?
for Archon, you have to go for that
Yeah,
Shadow
you do.
Messiah.
Yeah.
It
Oh, yeah.
definitely-
First of all, you turn into a Dark Archon. Even if that's all it did was you turned red, no changes to debuffs, I would go it.
That's it. Okay.
I would go it. Just
Oh,
because you go Dark Archon. Dark Archon was so cool in Brood War, but yeah, I mean, it increases the damage and range. Like, the range is the big thing. Like, the damage is, cool. But the extra 3 range is huge.
I remember when they increased the range in Archons in StarCraft 2. God, it was so stupid now.
Archons are broken.
They
any game.
didn't used
In
to be.
any
They used
game.
to suck, man.
Yeah.
They used to suck.
Yeah.
They did. And then they made them massive because they were too strong.
I think the only thing that I have the biggest issue with Tassadar right now is that Force Gate, the change that they do to the graphic to show teammates that they can walk through it is not aggressive enough. Like it kind of shines a little bit more rainbowy. I guess is the best way to put it.
You think
Well,
there should be a
that's-
pot of
that's-
gold on it? What do you want?
I mean, it doesn't change the graphic enough to show people that it's really the improved Force Wall.
Yeah,
think
it
if you're-
turns to like a lighter shade of blue and is kind of a little bit more see-through, but it's not.
Yeah, I think it
You
definitely
want
needs
arrows?
to be a little bit
You want
more
arrows
apparent.
that go on it? Arrows that go through it? It just says
Exit
It is
signs.
definitely a really,
Exit signs would be great.
like when you read that talent, it's kind of like, oh well, this is to help bad teammates, or but it's actually kind of. But no, on a greater level, it
Wow.
helps your teammates. Like, you can put, like, it changes the way you kind of use Force Wall.
It
Like,
changes the way you can
before.
engage. It's like it's ridiculous. It's so good.
you
it doesn't
you don't
just
have to like
lend it-
play
your hands
around
are-
your teammates when you're Force Wall anymore. You can
like-
just
And
completely play to your enemy.
Yeah.
Which is,
Now you say it helps bad teammates deal with your Force Wall, but wouldn't it be it helps bad Tassadars?
too.
Doesn't it help bad Tassadars with their placements?
Batadars, yo.
Badadars.
I've died to many Batadars and many zombie walls in my days.
well, no one goes Force Wall, so I died a lot more Witch Doctor walls than I do.
And after the Sergeant Hammer episode, Corey and I have
Oh.
killed so many poor teammates with the The explosive shot.
Oh, never again.
Wall
the
talent.
wall.
Yeah,
I
I
love
was.
that thing.
We were playing a game with just speaking on walls. We were playing a game with Sonia, and she was trying to get away, and she got that stupid
God.
upgrade that makes the walls come up around her. And it's
heroic lead upgrade.
Yeah, it was just like rip. You just locked yourself in with like a zero tool and a Tassadar. Like GG, you're dead.
I think I've seen that talent be used effectively, like to really like lock down a kill once.
Yeah.
Every other time, it's just like, oh, they just killed themselves.
Yeah, it's always.
They can't escape of it. It's like, oh, well, I guess no, you could if you.
That's because most people play
jumped
Barb
and then pulled over. But.
Can you disengage that wall? You have to wait for
No,
it away.
no, I
right?
don't think you can.
They need to.
I think you're stuck with it.
If it allowed you to like immediately disengage it, fine.
I actually don't know if you can. I'm assuming no.
I don't
think-
think.
yeah, that was my assumption.
why would I see so many barbs die to it if you could disengage it? But
Right.
No, you can disengage it. I'm pretty
I've never
sure.
built
I think it's like Jarvan's ultimate in League. If you can,
or the zombie wall.
yeah.
Anyways,
I don't know. I never pick it because it's ridiculous.
I think
Like,
I picked up
why
once
wouldn't you go
with
Resurgence?
all right.
You know.
Yeah, sorry for going on that tangent.
No, that's fine.
What's your final tangent on? What's your final choice for 20 on Tassadar?
Well, I mean, it depends
I'm just
on what you're doing.
upgrading.
If you
Support.
have
upgrading
support.
the 10.
upgrade the heroic. What does
Yeah,
matter?
upgrade the
Yeah,
heroic.
yeah.
Doesn't matter what build you go for. I mean, I really want to. I keep saying 1400 damage a hit, but I should also bring up the fact that when you're level 20 Tassadar, hold on, let me just do this math really quickly. Your attack speed is already ridiculous, and you're doing 1400 damage per hit with searing attacks at that level. And the thing that's really awesome is that at level 20, your attack speed is already at 0.8. So you're attacking at 0.4 seconds. Every 0.4 seconds, you're doing 1400 damage.
Wow.
Rainer's upgraded Adrenaline Rush, everybody that could possibly ever sustain through it, nobody can do it. It's impossible. And if you can get into their back line using just a quick shift into the back, you're going to just destroy anybody. And if somebody's standing near that person, you're doing so much damage to that person because you're an awesome Archon that it just kills that person. It's
It's good.
ridiculous amount of damage. But the problem is with damage Tassadar is you don't really do that damage until the end of the game. But at the end of the game, it's way powerful.
So
Alright.
way powerful.
Way.
Uh,
13.
Okay.
So let's just do a
Final
little bit
thoughts.
I mean, Tassadar is
He's godlike.
truly the versatile hero. He
Yeah.
has two different, like his kit stays the same, but he can be damage or then he can be support, which is really awesome. He's a well-rounded
I
hero.
wish Toronto was like that.
Yeah.
It's what
They
wanted to be,
They
but-
tried, and I think
Yeah.
with a couple of number tweaks, Toronto will be at.
A couple. Oh, you'd have to do 6 or 7 patches.
Like
to
giving
get
her
Tyranno to pass
Hunter's Mark is like a step in the right direction.
that. Yeah, it is.
Her little self heal thing, like, who cares? It's awful. Like, Hunter's Mark is definitely a step in the right direction for her. But
Actually, I think really the biggest thing that they could do with Toronto right now that would just take nothing at all is take the icon for Hunter's Mark. It's so tiny. It's like this big. But it's like at 25% damage but for 4 seconds. Are you kidding me? It should be like this big. Like, kill this thing.
Put a neon
for that
sign over
4
him.
seconds. Like, there should be a giant neon sign with like a
it
giant
should be
down
the
arrow.
exact
Hold
size.
on.
It should be the exact size of when you use a Hunter's Mark on Ragnaros. That just bounces up and down above him. Like, so
Yeah,
half your
exactly.
screen is
How
just...
many heroes are we going to talk about during the Tassadar discussion?
Sorry.
Fact.
Sorry.
These are...
Sorry.
Okay.
You know what? No, I'm not apologizing. I have suggestions, and everybody should hear them, darn it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Besides,
Well,
I know you guys don't like doing tier lists, but how would you guys rank Tassadar among the supports?
Top.
I mean, Mouth, in my opinion, is the best support in game. He's
Okay.
just I'd put him below Mouth and Lily, but
Okay, I think
above,
that's about where I would put
Yes.
him.
I'd put him above Uther and the
Now,
other guys.
yes. New Uther. Just above him. Barely. Uther's
Not
very
barely.
good. I don't think they're that far apart. I think the supports are all pretty balanced except for Tyrande. And I think it goes Lily Mouth, Tassadar Uther.
Excuse me, you got the first two wrong. You reverse them.
You think Mouth? I think Lily's better than Mouth, but Lily, Mouth,
3 second silence. Only
Tassadar, Uther, whatever. And then Brightwing.
Wait. I hate tier lists. Like,
I know.
It just causes so much shit. Like, you're gonna piss
What?
100.
This causes what?
Causes shit, Corey. Okay,
Oh my
man.
God, wow.
Brightwing. Actually,
Disrespect.
I doing
Okay.
Tassadar. I would put Tassadar
We're gonna talk about
below
Emerald Wind.
Brightwing, below Brightwing and Mouth.
The Emerald
That's where
Wind
I'd
can
put
come
him.
after we close out Mouth.
But what I find hilarious is that at the beginning of this segment, Jared said that Tassadar is god tier, on tier with Kerrigan. Kerrigan, who's the easily typical of everything.
Listen.
And then when we get to tier list, he's like, yeah, but
In
but he's
competitive play,
below.
listen,
But he's
let me
below
explain.
that.
In competitive play, Tassadar will be god tier. Not like he's going to be one of the best heroes in game when someone who's good uses him. But when I'm like, hey, my friend just got in the game, give me a hero to play. Tassadar's not god tier. He's not an easy hero that you can just go like, oh, I'm gonna face roll with it. You have to know how to play Tassadar to be good with him.
I still think no matter what, Lily and
But-
Mouth would be better than Tassadar.
Yeah, I agree.
No, Lily has a low skill ceiling. Eventually,
that doesn't
people will
change how
She's-
effective she is, though.
Yes,
Ridiculous. She has so much sustain, and you can't kill her.
I didn't say that. I said she
This
had
is
a
not
low
how
skill
tier lists
ceiling.
work. You
can't-
never
You
put
can't see
skill
someone
into
who's
it.
good. No, that's how I'm doing it though.
That
Because
ain't
I don't care. I don't care what what Joe Schmuck can do with freaking Lily and Tassadar. I care what the best players can do with Lily and Tassadar.
So
And the best players will play Lily just as well as any mid-tier player, but Lily will still be better than the best tier.
I mean, Lily's still going to be a better character if you have good positioning. Like, her positioning actually rewards the better player for sure. You can't just run around hitting Q. Well, you can, but
that's all
Yeah,
you
for the
do
most part.
is you run around hitting Q. That's literally all you do.
I don't know. And Tamzim Abathur is considered a specialist and not a support.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, Tassadar.
Final thoughts.
Good hero.
Final
Good
thoughts.
hero.
Good hero.
A PSA for people: don't just pop Archon in the middle of the fight. It's very slow. It's easy to run away from. Make sure you're in your enemy's face when you use it, and make sure there's some form of lockdown or slow because
Just make sure your time warp is up. And you're good.
yeah, make sure time warps up and it's so easy. Like when any team's that's coordinated all goes, oh, they popped Archon, run, and then nothing happens. You're okay. Tassadar, it's very easy to negate. So make sure you don't just go, oh, Town Hall said Archon's really really strong. A move, and then you're like, what? I killed nothing. Well, that's because you need to be smart.
Yeah.
Kevin said earlier he ease into a fight, which I don't think you should do most of the time, but
Never do what I do in games because you're gonna
Start
mess
taking-
up. No,
Kevin-
because that's
No more
really
start
just
taking.
that's when I mess. That's when I'm messing around.
Yeah, that's when Kevin's just having fun. He said
sure-
he said that makes DPS fun for him. So that's not necessarily the way to initiate Tassadar. His E is a get out, not a get in. It could be a
make sure-
get in, but Not
positioning is very important on Tassadar. Make sure you don't just pop stuff and be like,
positioning is very important in general in the game. But yeah,
Also,
Lily,
another
right,
really
just
fun
spam
thing
it.
that you can do is wait in a bush that your enemies are going to pass, and then when they're in the middle of lane, E into the middle of lane, and then all of a sudden there's an Archon in front of them, and they don't know where he came from. That's another really fun thing that I love to do.
for some reason, Backstreet music just popped into my head when I pictured you doing that. You look like a Backstreet Boy to me.
he does. He's very handsome.
Back
All
to
right.
you.
I had to
So-
take all this insults and compliments all wrapped
I
in.
don't know.
All right, let's talk about Emerald Wind. Today, I was playing with Greg, or Idra, sorry, and I'm gonna be honest because I want to piss Jake off. Jake and I played 5 games together, and none of them he's actually played Brightwing, so I haven't seen his Brightwing. But Idra today had 100% of his Emerald wins were the most impactful Emerald wins I have ever seen. I mean, we were running double support when he was running Brightwing, so you should not run Emerald Win when you're the only
Typically.
support.
Correct.
But we were running Lily Brightwing and Mouth Brightwing, and
Yes, that's when
Emerald
you- that's when
Wind.
you get Emerald Wind.
The way he was using it was, it was incredible. I've never seen more impactful Emerald Winds than that, and it definitely went from bottom tier trash to every time he used it, it was saving someone's life or securing us a kill. There are so many times, when first time Kevin went Emerald Wind to piss me off, he whiffed every single one of them because he was like doing it like, oh, Emerald Wind, and being silly with it. But like, it was a perfect Emerald Wind. Like it always did something, and I've never seen a.
I hate to tell you, I hate to say I told you so, but it's actually really good.
It's
Jake accepts apologies written in the mail.
I haven't seen
Tuesdays.
I haven't seen Jake's Emerald Wind.
I think actually one of the coolest things that you can do with Emerald Wind, actually this has been actually a really interesting thing I've been seeing a lot in scrims lately, is people are using Mule as a way to see when somebody else is doing merc camps, and what they'll do is they'll sit there and they'll put a mule down at a merc camp that's about to pop down. No, so there's a point to this.
Okay.
Once they see that the enemy is going for that merc camp, you can use Emerald Wind to push people away. So as soon as they get the merc camp, as long as you're contesting, Brightwing can then teleport in and then Emerald Wind away. Now, I was doing it in a way that it was, I was using it as Tassadar, and I was using Force Ball to push people out of the circle. But now that you know when people are going for that merc camp, you can get in there as Brightwing and use that Emerald Wind to push everybody off of the capture
You can
spot.
teleport to the mule?
No, but you can teleport to any hero that goes there. So while somebody's running in during the end of that merc camp's life, then Brightwing pops up, just get the last hit in or something like that, and then push everybody off.
Here's what I do. I Bolt of the Storm in Emerald Wind and Z out. It is so frickin' fun and so frickin' useful, it's ridiculous.
I don't think that's the right way to use it.
No, but
you shouldn't initiate with Emerald Wind.
You totally can, though.
Yeah, you can. You can,
but I think bolting in, and then Brightwing's in the middle of 5
and then
heroes,
you Z
and
out.
then dies. And
no,
then
no, you don't do it on all 5. You don't do it on all 5.
Well, you need to like say that because I just assume like, because at level 20, people are roaming as 5. You're not going to be like running up to one person and being like, oh, hey, they're by themselves. Let me bolt behind them.
No, it's a fun thing to do. You can't do it on 5 because you will melt. Like you will die. But you can do it if they're like separated and stuff. You can do it to force the separation and get an engagement and secure a kill on 2 of them. But it's a very, very positional thing. It's a very kind of thing where you have to be patient and you have to wait for that moment. But
that is the key word you said there is patient.
Yeah.
Most people, when they go Emerald Wind, they're just like,
no, it is a very, very patient.
There is a specific moment you should Emerald Wind, and when Idra was using it in both the games today, like he was saving people's lives. Or he was securing kills every single time. He was going sprint with it. I don't know if he goes sprint. But.
Yeah, you can. That's how I used to do it. Because sprint allows you to use it and then get out. That's how I used to do it. But then I started finding blink. I kind of just started picking blink because just kind of mix up my build and try something new. And it's just
bolt.
Bolt. Yeah, bolt. Just to kind of like mix it up and have a lot of fun with it. And I found it to be pretty successful as well. I don't know what I would say is better. Probably sprint, just because you can get it earlier in the game, because level 20 is pretty far out. And it is nice to get the triple Emerald Wind is actually really good. The triple pulse is actually ridiculously good, actually. And not even just for separation, because it's 3 times as long, but actually on structures it does a lot of damage. Like the number of times I actually would run right up to their wall and just like save a teammate by pushing them back. Like, you know, it's a lot of fun. It's really good, and you can just really force people in bad positions with it. So, it's just funny how now that you've finally seen it, you see the viability. Now, I'm gonna clarify that it is definitely the better option to get Blink Heal 9 times out of 10. Unless you have, again, like if you have 2 other specialists, get Emerald Wind or support. I'm sorry, get Emerald Wind, but Blink Heal is definitely better. In
like I said,
situations.
you should only do it when you get 2 supports. I mean, when you're pre-mating, you shouldn't go solo support Brightwing. That's kind of
that's the one thing that I'm sorry, just to interject really quick. I've been playing a lot of random lately, and for some reason, random loves Brightwing. And if I'm the only support and I'm Brightwing, I feel like there's no way that I'm as effective as any other support.
But I mean, the thing about sprint is, like, we're going to a Brightwing segment really quick. You're giving up Phase Shield, and I actually think Phase Shield is one of the best talents that Brightwing has. The number of times I've had absolutely ridiculous like plays when you jump in, you give them the phase shield, and then you stack on protective shield on top of that. And if you have regenerative rains, you're healing every time you do that. It's like Kevin, I played against you, and I saved one of my teammates against 4 of you. Like it was a Kerrigan, and Kerrigan's dumb, but it's in my like, you know, my funny plays of the week or whatever. Funny and epic.
That poor
moments.
Kerrigan's gonna watch this stream and be like, "I played with Philman. That was me."
Yeah, but you know,
Yeah, whatever.
You know, it was like an absolutely ridiculous save, and I've had tons of absolutely ridiculous saves because when you have that map awareness, that insta shields that you give, I mean, 200 shield is really nice. It's only 3 seconds, but it's enough time to get them out of there. You use their E, you give them the move speed, and they're good to go. Especially with regenerative rain. So it's, I mean, giving up. But then again, at the same time, this is if you're building more of a utility Brightwing. If you're going straight support, you're not going to be getting Emerald Wind anyways. So I guess getting sprint is fine in that regard because you're not going full support. But I don't know. Then it comes up the argument of like, is like a DPS Brightwing where you're actually just going for like sticky flare and you're going for arcane.
No, they've. Well, I mean, the only issue with that now is that they nerfed Brightwing pretty hard on her Q.
Which I don't understand why they did that.
Yeah,
neither do I. That's
probably because
that kind of annoys me about it.
The only reason I can see that they did it, but I don't think we actually even saw it in competitive play just yet. But like I kind of realized it afterwards, is that because her Q was doing a lot of damage on Sergeant Hammers that couldn't unsiege, and anybody that was stunned. Like if you knew that somebody was about to land a stun on somebody and you just put your Q right there,
yeah,
like that was an easy 1,000 damage. So that's why I'm a little bit weirded out that they did that, because it didn't really seem like it was a massive problem. But maybe because her push was really good too.
I still get arcane precision, even though they nerfed the damage. I still get it. I don't think it's sometimes I'll get shield dust, but I never get path because you can just Hearthstone home and teleport back out. Like there's no point in getting path on Brightwing. I think it's a waste of time.
Yeah. But even then, like they also nerfed that talent that enhances her Q too. It used to be 50%, now it's 33%.
Yeah.
So they really hurt that Q, and now it doesn't do anything. Like now it's a very slow projectile that does no damage.
I feel like they should speed it up a little bit because again, it's one of the harder projectiles to hit in the center to get to maximize the damage, and it was kind of like a rewarding skill and rewarding like actually setting up things. And you're right, it doesn't feel that impactful anymore. So I feel like it should have a little bit caster quick time if they're going to make it so weak. But I don't know. This was supposed to be an Emerald Wind discussion, not a Brightwing discussion. Yeah. I just like talking about my.
Emerald Wind can be used effectively.
Absolutely, I've been saying that for I don't know how many months now, but I'm glad.
I think mainly our argument before was that Blink Hill was just so much better.
But again, it's a situational thing. It depends on your composition. It depends on what you're running with, because that's what the heroics are about. They're about giving that flexibility, giving that option. And I think there are a lot of heroics that just don't have their place in the game, but Emerald Wind is absolutely one of them that does have its place in the game.
The way I saw it used today, it's becoming more of just a place in the game. I think that in competitive play, we will see a lot of Emerald Wind Brightwings. It's the way it was.
I don't even know. I mean, right now, the standard state of Brightwing, I don't think we're going to see her at all.
Because Brightwings are bad if they're not me.
Oh,
maybe you're the guy who's going to change the face of Brightwing, but.
What's that guy that plays Anivia? The one Anivia? I'll be the one Brightwing. Froggen?
Anivia. Shake Wing? Solid Wing?
No.
Okay.
Doesn't
work.
Let it go.
Did we want to do Kubi's questions or call it here? I know we wanted a shorter show tonight.
You can save it for next week. That's fine.
Just save it. Just save it.
Okay.
We'll give the flicker for the crowd. Just tease them.
Not today.
For Kubi's questions.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Well, let's do some shout-outs. Kevin, take it away.
Shout-outs to MLG. That's just weird to say on Twitch. Because I am going into work tomorrow. And where am I working? I'm working at MLG, son. So it's going to be pretty exciting. I'm actually really
You're going to get fired after the seat, what you just said.
What?
MLG, son. Fired.
Wait.
Negative.
Professionalism.
So I'm really happy to go do that. And then, of course, you can follow me on Twitter. at Sham2, and my YouTube at Sham2, SCHAMTOO. Yeah.
Kubi.
What's up? Follow me at Omega Black Mage, and I'll also piggyback on that. Shoutouts to MLG because they did such a good job with Smash this weekend.
Yeah.
Actually brought my interest back up into it a little bit, so kudos to that. It was actually quite entertaining for me to watch.
Flattering.
So, props. I guess when it's due, it's due. So props to that.
Good job.
Jake.
I'm going to give a shout out to MLG for giving me the opportunity to do what I did this weekend, to produce Smash Brothers, bring it back. Yo, man, it was...
See. I love it.
It was awesome. I'm pumped to play Zagara.
Yeah, man.
I can't stop thinking about her because I always say I play Brightwing because I like mobility. I like to be able to go anywhere on the map at any time. And having the Nidus network on a character that can also push, I'm stoked. Blizz stepped it up and give her to me. And I was all pumped because I was at Anaheim, MLG, talking to Blizzard employees, but I would go up to everyone and just be like, yo, when do I get Zagara? Give Zagara, please.
Yo,
just harassing them, shrugging my shoulders, be like, yo, I can walk like a queen too. Give me Zagara. And everybody was just kind of hinting like, oh yeah, she's coming soon. And Tim's like, yeah, you'll have her by BlizzCon. I'm like, oh, screw you, Tim. And then I get off my plane and it's like, Zagara's coming out tomorrow. I'm like, what? Happy birthday to me, because yesterday was my birthday, but now we don't have her yet, and I'm kind of sad. I'm going away for a few days, so give Zagara, please, once again, and make Jake happy. But yeah, congrats to Kevin and being my new co-worker.
Woo.
And what's good with you, Zoyo?
Shout out to IBD Gaming. We had some decent performances at MLG Anaheim. We had a lot of players in there. They didn't make it deep, super deep, but
rip.
They did well.
Didn't
well.
Puck beat Polt? Is that? Am I misremembering that? In pools? In pools.
Puck?
Was he not? Was he not at MLG?
Huck?
Puck.
Puck was at MLG. I don't know if he beat Polt.
Polt was winners the whole time.
No, pools.
Oh, he might have, but Polt got second.
I'll check.
I was doing Smash. I know nothing about StarCraft.
Oh yeah, Polt was winner, so definitely wasn't in
pools.
Well, he could drop.
Be in winners bracket.
Sorry. Yeah,
Puck,
I didn't hear the pool.
Puck beat Trap. He beat Trap.
He beat Trap. Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah, Puck's
been doing really well lately.
Yeah, he's freaking Gosu, man. But IDD repping it. I am starting a new job next week.
Rip.
Which is awesome. I'm excited for it. But unfortunately, it's going to be 5 weeks of training and at night. So there will be quite a few episodes where I will be absent from Town Hall, which has me depressed because I freaking love the show. But there will be two probably episodes that will be on a Sunday night whenever the cast can make it that I will be back for. But there will be a few episodes that won't be here. So keep eye out. Keep watching the show. These guys are great. I love them all. But 5 weeks, and then I'll be back for all of them. It's just 5 weeks of training, and then I won't ever have to work a Tuesday night. But so there's that. Follow the stream. Please follow Town Hall's Twitter. Town Hall Show.
Did you say we might make adjustments to our schedule? I wasn't listening to what you were saying.
Yeah, like 2 episodes.
I was busy typing "rip" on your face.
No, yeah, for 2 episodes.
Just
we might reschedule for a Sunday. But yeah. So shout outs to the show. Follow us on Twitter at Town Hall Show. We tweet from it. So whenever if you're not
follow our Twitter, we tweet from it. Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
If we do reschedule a show, the fastest way you'll find out is through the show's Twitter.
That's true. This is
so give that a follow.
I need to start tweeting from that a lot more often. I never do.
You did well for 2 weeks, and then you just kind of got bored of it.
I can't keep up with so many puns. I need to come up with more puns. All right, how about this? For tomorrow, I'm going to come up with 10 hero puns.
Oh my god.
This is going to be his first day at MLG. He thinks he's not going to do anything. He thinks he's just going to come up with puns at work. Because at MLG, we just play video games, apparently.
Yep. Wow, you can play video games and come up with puns? God, this kid is so talented.
This guy's a hard worker. Can't wait for your first day of work. Come up with puns.
Great.
I forgot.
I forgot I was working.
I'm working tomorrow.
But yeah, follow the streams. This one here. Follow mlg.tv/solidjake. Follow Kevin's stream on Twitch, and probably won't be there much longer. But you know, Kevin, follow him on Twitch for now.
No, don't follow me on Twitch. I'm not streaming from that anymore.
Okay, well, don't follow him until he announces a new stream potential.
No, just because it's just I'm having a lot of problems with streaming in general. My computer's been overheating.
Well, you know what? I don't want to plug your stream then. Okay,
Don't follow
Kevin's stream.
YouTube.com/shammywammy boo boo.
Let's just end this damn show. Good night, guys. See you next week.
Peace.